There we go.
Sorry,
My
perfect.
hearing aids died.
No, you're good. You're good. So a couple things. Number one, pretty much Wu-Chang is the only label, and despite international calls, I mean, this is like public info, but I've called like K directly, and he keeps forgetting to wake up and just submit the app. So you might be the first music label in the city, for what it's worth. Now, while who comes first and second or whatever, you know, here's the important thing is we're going to have legislation in like a day, which will let me directly fund artists, concerts, all that shit. Because very early on in my campaigning, I recognize that the music industry is like its own big sector of the city, and it's dog shit that good artists simply are not getting paid. Now, so what we did, my team wrote up amps, which is what's currently awaiting the DOJ signature. Once approved, it means you can come through and you can be like, this month we are looking to do these songs, these artists, this concert. Here's how much we need, and I sign that fucking check and it's over. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm not looking to pay like $1,000 a track. I'm talking like motherfuckers should get paid like 50. You know what I'm saying, or whatever, right? Because the whole like play the cassette and like you know over and over again to make that's dumb. And same with concert tickets. You know what I mean? So
I like the sound of that. Yeah, that was something I was asking Johnny about, like grants and stuff for like show, because I think it's no secret, like there's not money in shows like how they used to be. I think like this time around, me doing label stuff, it's gonna be very different than previously. But I think it's also like kind of exciting because there's new ways we can do stuff.
Yeah, to be transparent with you too, SK, like we also want to pay more for people that are making tracks like the one you made, and not because it's a banger, that goes without saying, but because it's about shit happening in the city, and we want to really encourage that, because I mean, you know, so to give you an idea, Wu-Chang, we already got like $1 million just ready to go for Wu-Chang, right? I was ready to pay $1 million for the month, so the money's not an issue. Like, I'm gonna sign those checks, especially if we can get things actually popping off.
I'm glad you said that, because that's like the number one thing for me after like the last time. I just only want on the label people that are talking about stuff going on in the city. I think we got like, there was a really good period of time in the music scene where there was a lot of that, and then there was a lot of talented artists, but it wasn't necessarily, they were amazing, but they weren't necessarily talking about relevant things within the city, which is like, I think, a very important part of the whole scene itself, right? Like,
100%. Well, otherwise no one's gonna listen to it.
Yeah, my ethos with it now is very much going to be, if you're a great artist, but you're not really talking about the city, then like I might pass on the opportunity, because I really want a label where everyone there is talking on what they're living every day, you know?
We're on that same wavelength. I don't want to like talk negatively on any artist, but you know, I'm just trying to paint my perspective, right? Why would I go to a concert about music that's not relevant, right? And yeah, I can understand people might fly in to do a concert. I ain't gonna be interested in that shit, right? Most people aren't. They're just not gonna be interested, right? Why are they interested in a track that's about the city? Because it's talking about something that they may have heard of. It may relate to someone they know, right? And it actually is meaningful. And like, I mean, look at P. The guy's dropped plenty of tracks about shit in the city, right? Yeah. And that guy's that guy's busy. You know what I'm saying? So I don't see what the excuses would really be to do otherwise. So
that's also one of the things that I would be able to bring forward to the table, is something along the lines of, you know, a lot of people say, for example, can't necessarily mix or master any of the technical stuff. Their tracks won't be it won't be award winning, but I can, facilitate that at least, so people can get off the ground and actually be able to release their stuff without worrying too much about the technical aspect.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I mean, here's the thing too, right? Once what we have today isn't necessarily what we got tomorrow. And even if, let's say, like, Paps, you did like all the mastering and all that shit, right? Just as a hypothetical.
Yeah.
Once things start growing, people will come, right?
Yeah.
So,
Is that a Field of Dreams reference, Nino?
no, I'm just saying, like, it's how Wu-Chang got to where it was. Like, I was around back when the idea first started kicking off. You know what I mean? There was only so many artists. There was only so many people making beats and shit like that. And then da-da-da-da-da. You know what I mean?
It got very oversaturated very quickly, I feel like, which was great. Yeah. But I feel like you kind of need to be a bit more picky with, like, how you bring people in to make sure that they're in for the right reasons, you know? Like, that's very important to me as well, is like it's not just about like exposure for the person, it's about like they want to actually be a part of like a thriving music scene and that.
I feel you.
Do things for it.
Yeah.
Like we kind of wrote in the proposal, we're looking to create more of a culture than necessarily a product kind of business. This is a change of state of mind more than just dollars and cents for singles. You know what I mean?
I mean, look, I'm going to keep it real. Like, I don't even think y'all need a presentation. I mean, that presentation dropped last night or yesterday afternoon. So,
yes, sir.
You know, I like the idea. We want to back it. Like, we got 80 mil in the bank. I'm ready to, give it out. And, this is the right thing where to put the money. You know what I mean? So, I mean,
hell yeah.
You drop that business proposal, we'll sign it. As soon as AMPS is done, you tell me how much you need for the artists and the things on a month basis. We'll cut you the checks.
One question, I don't know if this is something that you'll know, but when it comes down to like the core for properties, I haven't really looked in too much to like the music side of stuff. I had a quick look in my apartment. There's a lot of shit available that's like music related, but there's no one that like sells it. Like the lumber company don't have access to it. Like there's like DJ desks and mixing tables and stuff like that, but I don't know where you actually acquire that stuff from.
If you give me the details, I can try to look into it. I want to be very, very, very transparent. Is that I give recommendations to the governor's office, right? And then depending on, and then it may or may not happen. You know what I mean? Like, depending on what their priorities are. So, if there are things, you can send it to me and I can add it to my, like, what I do is I compile everything together and then at the top of the document, I'm like, this is really desired. This is really desired. So they can, and then, you might see it come through.
Yeah.
Johnny, Nino and
Yes,
I talked yesterday about, you've seen our website, about potentially hosting a library of artists and their music on the website as one centralized area. With record labels now coming up, yours with Wu-Chang getting a foundation built in that sector, would you say that we'd be stepping on their toes? Would we be elevating the sector? I guess, what can I do from a digital standpoint to help rather than hinder?
I think a place where everybody could access it is definitely desired. I know we have the Notify app, but I honestly have no idea who's in control of that, and it's kind of all over
I got
the place.
the info. So this is, I'll give you, I spoke to Potty Hottie, and I think you were, Jasmine, Michael, I think you were there too, unless I'm tripping.
Yeah.
And the way that I understand it, and hopefully I'm not misrepresenting this, is that Potty is is like the only one or one of two people, right? Or like the only, let's say, artist that has direct access to Nopify to add tracks to this and that is, from his perspective, why a lot of artists just kind of go to his label for reasons beyond, like, some people are going to be because they want to be Wu-Chang, right? But the reason why things have historically recently moved to Wu-Chang is because he can just add the track on. You know what I mean? But he's very open with making sure that other labels find that same success.
The thing is, I haven't seen anybody twat out like now on Nopify, available on Nopify. You know what I mean? It's just people were advertising things that they released 6 years ago almost.
I mean, can we keep it a buck? Like, I mean, look, it's because people know how to market, right? And that's why they need. There's two things, right? One is because Wu-Chang tends to operate really late at night, right? Think about it. Like, it's kind of like when I'm around as the mayor, right? My team tends to be around. Naturally, if like Potty Hottie and company, they're like around like towards like in like, let's say 8 hours. And that's when they have their concerts, et cetera, et cetera. So that's when they learn it. But y'all come through before and after this storm. Now you got another circle you can start reading out. Does that kind of make sense what I'm trying to say? So it's not that it's not happening. I think it's like right now the music industry is super late NA into early AU. So
that's a good thing, though. I can't lie, because it just means EU early NA, which is like our time zone. Is kind of, we can cover that.
Yep.
Kind of how it was before as well, to be fair, with Mandem Records and Wu-Chang. They were always later NA.
Yeah.
Is that where you can, like, with that app?
Yep.
Like, is there direct links from the app? Like, can you copy the URL and then twat it out, like, to Nopify, or is that not a thing?
It doesn't look like it can.
I guess you could just twat.
Yeah.
You know, another thing that's kind of a good question is if you can, like, share playlists. Because if you can make a playlist on Nopify, right, for your label, and every time a new song comes out, you just add the song to the playlist, and then it's like, our playlist has just been updated with the releases from this artist, the artist, go listen to it now on the Nopify app, you know?
So I guess whoever would have access to it, you see how it's like pop, alternative, lo-fi, it would have like the record label playlist as well.
Yeah, I like
the
that.
homepage.
Almost like on, you know, on like Spotify, you've got public playlists that's like global and anyone can see it.
Yeah,
we kind of need that so that everyone can be like, oh, that's the Wu-Chang playlist, or that's the whatever record label playlist.
I think those would be good things. Like, if they're like jotted down, I could put it on the, you know, once again, no guarantees, but I think that makes
also
a lot of
something
sense.
though. If that's not possible, where you were saying about what you could do digitally, you could always do something external where it's like, so outside the city, you have like New Music Friday, right? Where every Friday there'll be like a list of songs that have released, and it's kind of like just presented to you at the front.
I have no idea what button I just pressed.
Manually, like weekly updated the website to be like, these are all the new releases of this week, and someone can just check the website, see that, and then go and look for them themselves.
Yeah, I can definitely do that. Nino, construction requests, I made note of those things, so it's in our email chain.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah,
that's kind of why we wanted to, like, on losantos.me, have a section dedicated to music, not just for their profiles, but like embedded, like maybe Spotify playlists, or like embedded for like the label, etc., because the reality of the matter is that we can iterate things on losantos.me significantly faster than, because it's just a website, right? Quicker than anything we might ask for. You know what I mean?
And I'll be honest, just even if you're advertising losantos.me/music, just feels a bit better, you know?
True.
Yeah, for sure.
True. Or even / label name, because to give you an idea, right? We want like a bigdogs.losantos.me or like a losantos.me/bigdogtv. So like you go there and it's like, boom, the Big Dogs like customized site. Long term, we actually want you to be able to pull this up on the laptop, even though I high key think it's probably impossible to do, but it's kind of the idea behind this, right? Because if Los Santos to ME becomes that centralized place where people go to find business shit, articles, music, that's more traffic for people to learn about what music is coming out and other things happening in the city than Twata, because Twata's dog shit. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and if you're not awake when something important comes across Twitter or even a state announcement, you know, you miss
Yeah.
it, right?
or like you go to the thing, like let's say someone drops a new track, you go to the site and there's like a banner at the top, like just dropped, like yesterday.
Yeah. That's easy. I mean, we can do that, no problem.
Yeah.
I did want to bring up, especially with Paps and SK here, you know, one of the things we really wanted to work on and really haven't put a lot of work into, one sec, was the Arts and Culture Consortium, because we kind of been sidetracked with literally everything else. Are we looking to revive that? And what does that look like?
Can you break that down into uneducated British terms for me?
Oh, so I mean, the Arts and Culture Consortium was originally bringing, you know, the up and coming labels to the table, the artists to the table, to basically just workshop what could be done to build the sector back up. It was initially supposed to be myself and Mina Rocket who were kind of leading the charge on that, but I personally don't have the runway to do it anymore. And Mina, I believe she's busy out of city. So I know with how involved Jasmine is, especially being a creative herself, I was hoping she could kind of take the reins on that. And I actually pitched to Paps yesterday with his expertise. He'd be someone that I think would be good to have at the table. But I don't know if that's still on your radar, Nino, or what.
I feel like it's happening as a side effect of, you know what I'm saying? Like, I
The
think
investment, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, cause like whatever this odds thing is, like, you know, you'd have SK's label, the Wu Chang label. There's like a company that opens up. I think we're kind of naturally doing it anyways. You know, it's just kind of called something else now.
Yeah. Okay. I agree. I think with the investment from us, and then with whatever we can do to elevate the industry on the website, I think the rest is probably in the hands of the artists. I don't know if you'd agree with that, SK, but
Yeah, I would say so. I think it's just as long as I think conversations between labels will be important to like, because I think what we don't want is, and I don't think Party Hardy would do this because he's always been good for this, but like we need to kind of come up with a way where we can still be somewhat competitors, but we're working together enough to make sure that the health of the music scene is good, right?
Yeah.
True.
Well, I think that was the whole precipice of the Arts and Culture Consortium in the first place. You know, it's that the conflict between labels is certainly the interesting part, but you still have to be able to operate with one another in the same sector and look out for each other's best interests. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, there can
In
be
order to elevate
competition,
the
but you don't
scene.
have to
Exactly.
be enemies.
Exactly. Okay.
I mean, fake beefs are like a real thing too. You know what I mean?
Of course they are. Of course
Like,
they are.
True.
I agree with what you said. I think it's a byproduct of just the natural progression everybody's working towards, like another label, another production company, another you know, interior designer, artist. Everything's growing, and it just naturally kind of happens that way.
Yeah.
Like it might be good to somewhat agree with the other label, like a city standard, like entry cost to events, if that's something they do, or a city standard of how much an artist would get paid to perform. Like if you set those kind of things and it's like everyone follows the same kind of protocol, then the rivalry stays in music as opposed to like trying to one up each other financially or shit like that, you know?
Sure. Yeah. I agree.
All right. Well, have you guys
like,
submitted?
back in the
Sorry, go
day? Back in the day, like there was, it was good that it was like this, but it also wasn't. It was like you would get people coming into the city, and it was like a bidding war, right? It was like who can afford this artist, which is all very well and good, but I feel like that slightly takes away the focus from the music itself, and it's more like who can land the biggest paycheck. You know, I don't really
Sure.
want to encourage that this time around.
Yeah.
What were you asking, Nino?
Well, I was gonna say like, you know, listen, I'm not an artist, right? But I personally, as someone who's, I'm gonna come from like a consumer perspective. There was a point in time before the collapse where I saw motherfuckers throwing stages down and just playing the same fucking shit every other day to like 2 people. You know what I mean? Like what I want to see is like fucking like one of your guys coming through and one of like Wu-Chang guys coming through and dropping some like having like I'm not saying like some American Idol shit, but some collab shit where you see 2 people going at it on the mic. You know what I mean? And that I think draws people in. It makes it more than just the music, but like put some meaning behind it. You know what I mean?
Like a versus where you go hit for hit, like, and then the crowd decides at the end who wins, cash prize, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we could even throw up things like for the state where like we're like, yo, we're dropping some cash, right? And it's like label versus label, and maybe hopefully we can get like a third one eventually, right down the line. And yeah, you put the money up, and like now it's like, you know, you're aiming to get the fans to be on your side over the music, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of good things we can do, but I also think it's like you've got to make it interesting. People don't have the attention span like they used to go and watch each artist perform 5 songs and be there for 3 hours, you know? Like, you need to have a unique way of presenting the music. Otherwise, I just think people aren't going to be as interested as they were.
Yeah, 1000%.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's look, here's the deal. You guys drop that app in, we'll approve it. My recommendation, Judge Weiss, he's now able to approve. If SK's applying for it, he puts it in, I approve it, you call Weiss, he approves it, done and done. Once AMP is all set up and going, we can start sending funds your way.
Sweet. Is there any thing that can be done as far as commercial properties? I know we had this conversation before you as mayor. Or is it just going to be we're going to have to wait and then try and acquire somewhere when it's available?
When you say commercial properties, you mean like new ones popping up?
Not necessarily new ones, but I remember you spoke a while back about like people who had purchased commercial properties but wasn't using them commercially. I don't know if that's still a thing.
Nah, it's kind of like with the tax thing, right? Like Los Santos politics isn't Los Santos politics when I can fart in the wind and you got 5 marshals trying to impeach me. You know what I mean? So if when I dropped like the tax law, it got so spicy, even though it was for the right reasons, that if I try to go down the approach of like reappropriating properties that are unused, it's going to be another headache for me. Like, yeah,
no, fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, Manor has multiple commercial properties. I could maybe convert some dead space into a studio. That wouldn't necessarily be a bad idea.
Yeah, I mean, nothing.
I feel like you're kind of experiencing what everyone in the city is experiencing right now. I think, you know, we're all waiting for real estate, and there just isn't enough to satisfy the needs of the market right now. That's just the unfortunate reality, you know.
I've been holding my breath for Rebel Radio to be on the market since I moved here.
I've been waiting for Rebel Radio since it was first promised to me by, I was the second business. You know how long ago that was, Peps? 15 years ago. So I'm not trying to.
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah. No, I'll park my ambition on the side for a
Actually,
second.
from the first mayor ever in Los Santos. I forgot who the fuck was that?
According to Party Hardy, it was Party Hardy.
The mayor?
Yeah, that's what he said on the podcast.
No. I don't think it. Oh, he said, well, maybe this was way back when. Yeah. You might be right. I'm thinking another time. Anyways.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, easy. All right. Well,
Awesome.
any other questions,
we'll
guys? Anything else?
Rolling them.
Easy.
Yeah,
You don't even need a proposal at this point. Like, I think we did it. Yeah, you got this thing. As long as you submit all the details, that is in, and you can look at what it is if you go to, you look up the big PP in legislation, just search big PP on the MDT at City Hall. It's got a list of all the things you need to enter into the business proposal. Very straightforward. And you don't even need to put a description. I would just link this document in there. So like it's mostly contact information, who's going to be the owner, and then like a link to the doc.
Oh yeah.
And
we do it through. We do it.
Yeah,
we do it through this business app, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Yes, the business app. It's got to be submitted by the owner. It will grant you a business account. It should be under who you want as the owner. Don't worry about it if you're a felon or not. Not a big deal. The only reason you would care about it if you're actually looking to launder money, which I would not recommend. But you know what I'm saying? Like that's just not a good idea. But yeah, boom, boom. The only thing to worry about, listen, I'm not shit. Okay, so one thing I want to say, just because it's like almost election season, is definitely put it under your name. But one thing to keep in mind, and Michael, we need to start telling people this, is what happens if another mayor comes through and makes it illegal for felons-owned businesses?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you'll see as many businesses in Los Santos as you do in Blaine County, which last I checked is what, Eves?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, we'll send that over. I'll try to approve it today. If you submit it, send me a text. If I'm not around, I'll just wake up later tonight, approve it. That way, because I'm out tomorrow, we can get this going like, ASAP.
Let's go.
All right.
Sounds good.
All right,
Gentlemen.
easy.
Sorry.
I got to talk to SK real quick.
Yep.
You got your own car, right, SK?
Yeah, I came along.
All right, easy. All right.
All right, I'm gonna try and run and beat Jasmine back to the resort.
All right.
Take
I'll
care,
see you guys in a bit.
Before we go, Raz, is there
Yeah, yeah.
anything you'd like to see on that proposal that